I'm still in the building up phase. I'm still in the one step at a time phase. I can't do everything on the list. It's just not happening. I am the healing therapist, the therapist who turned patient. I'm taking a bit of a healing sabbatical, and this is a self-care experiment. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Welcome to the Quality of Life Quest. My name is Anneke. Today's episode is The Healing Therapist. You may have picked up on it. I don't know how long you've been listening to this podcast, but I am a therapist. I'm a Reiki master. I'm a trainer of NLP, trainer of timeline therapy, a trainer of hypnosis. I do sports massage, and I've got another couple of modalities under my belt. And at this moment, I do none of them at all. Why? Because I'm not well myself. And at this moment in time, I feel as if, well, first of all, I don't have the energy for it. So that's that. But it's also a different level. It feels as if I would say something, it would not ring true. It would be more do as I say rather than do as I do. And that doesn't sit well with me. And if it was only, chocolate peanuts, I could kind of get over it. But at the moment, it's way more than that because I just don't have the energy for it. I have to say, because this is kind of evergreen content, do check before you think, oh, well, she doesn't do therapy anymore. If you listen to this in, I don't know, October 2025, I most probably will be doing therapy and any time after that. But yeah, check it out because I fully intend to do therapies again. But over the past couple of years, I've been inundated with all sorts of things, kind of life happening with several moves that I hadn't anticipated. One move that I had anticipated, but the other ones I had not anticipated. And having to move is very different from choosing to move. So the first time around, I chose to move, but the next couple of times I had to move because the landlords sold the house. So yeah, that was interesting. And moving in itself doesn't hold any mysteries for me. I've moved many times. It was the finding of the property that was a difficult part. That was really hard to do. I won't get into it now, but it was difficult. And then other things happened with study, with Scottish Power, the energy provider, with work, with finances, you name it, and it happened. And I got into a deep pit and I hit rock bottom. And rather than acknowledge that I hit rock bottom, I started mining, and that opened a whole new world of problems for me. So what I should have done was I should have slowed down. I should have taken time out. I should have looked after myself. The shoot. I should have done a lot of things. And even looking back, I don't know how I would have done that. I really don't know how I would have done things differently in order to get a better outcome. Maybe I could have kept up with fitness more, better. I don't know. Before things started to go downhill, I was still dancing together with my daughter. And then the group kind of dissolved in the summer of 2019. I did go to the gym a bit, but the gym in itself is not really my thing. I've been today. That was the first time in a long time that I've been to the gym, just because I have to do something. But yeah, I could have done that. Maybe I could have kept a better eye on my food intake. The aforementioned chocolate peanuts have something to answer for. I'm the one who bought them. I'm the one who ate them. But I could have done better there. So that's two things. Fitness a bit and food. Big things. I will admit those are huge things. If you keep those two really top notch, that will help a lot. And I didn't. I let it slide. Now, there's someone called Joyce Sunada. I don't know if I probably butcher that name, but I guess it's a she, said, if you don't make time for your wellness, you will be forced to make time for your illness. And that is what happened to me. In January, the world collapsed around me, and it's been an interesting time. It's now July 2025, a definite 6 months in, and yeah, it's been an interesting journey so far. So I don't do any therapies at the moment because I don't have the energy. I also don't have the mental bandwidth to do it. What do I have to offer if I haven't got the bandwidth to do my own, to clean my own home, to look after myself? How can I, in a therapy setting, look after other people? I do work. I work as a healthcare assistant. That's a whole different story, because some people might wondering, if you are so well versed in therapies, why on earth would you want to be a healthcare assistant, which is ranking-wise one of the lowest jobs you can find within the NHS. But that's a different kind of looking after people. It's very practical, and even though I help people out when they are having a bit of a slump and a moment, it's a very physical job, and it's a very practical job. It's providing people with food and drink and keeping them clean, and helping them to go to appointments and all that kind of thing. So it's a different kind of caring. It's a different level of caring. If I take on a client, then I'm the sole person responsible. When I'm a healthcare assistant, even though I try to do my job to the best of my abilities, in the end, it is the nurse who is responsible. The nurse is the person who needs to make sure that everything is done and dusted and patients are looked after. I'm there to help, not to take over. So what to do in a situation like this? Stress, burnout, give it a name. It doesn't really matter. I just did nothing for 4 months. 4 months of doing absolutely nothing. Sleep. I slept a lot, or at least I tried. I needed a lot of rest, and I did that. My food in itself was reasonable, except for the aforementioned chocolate peanuts. It was rest. I needed rest. I needed time out, and there was no time. There was no let up from several of the organizations I was battling with. So that kind of kept on going. So it interfered. It interfered with my rest. I needed rest, and those organizations kept on coming. Which, it is what it is. But 4 months of rest would have been better spent if I could have actually rested without all the intrusions of, I'll say it again, Scottish Power, Connexus, council tax, domestic and general, the savings company where I had saved money, and they decided that paying out was kind of optional, even though, so they kept over 1/3 of the money to pay my taxes, which is interesting. I'm very capable of paying my own taxes. Thank you very much. So there was a whole list of things going on. And then, of course, the normal life things, which are, my mom is going downhill fast, saying goodbye to an uncle who, thank goodness I was there to say goodbye. He passed away a couple of days later. Things like that. It has been a lot. And then after 4 months of relative rest, I didn't work at all. So relative rest, I went to see a naturopath. Well, I didn't go anywhere. This particular naturopath at this moment in time lives far, far away. So the communication was via Zoom and telephone and messages. As you may know, I studied to be a naturopath. So besides all the qualifications I've got already, herbalism and diets are a couple of things that I really, really want to learn and to be able to do. I know a bit already, but I want that to be official. So anyway, I found an ex-student, so she is in naturopath already. She's really good, solid, she knows her stuff. And what I told her in the first meeting is that I don't want a list of things to do because I can't cope with that. Well, at least I couldn't cope with that at the moment we had this first conversation. I've hardly got the bandwidth to just get on with daily activities, let alone for someone to come up with a list of, oh, you have to go to a gym, or you have to do some exercise, or you have to do, I can make my own list. I'm very capable of making my own list. That's not what I want. I may have needed that, but I knew I wouldn't execute it because no energy, no, it wasn't going to happen. So she laughed, and in the end I did get a list. And she said to go for the low-hanging fruit, which is something I understand. I do the same with my own clients if they are in some sort of pickle, to give them a list of options and to do the things they find easy to do, which is, if someone finds it easy to go for a run, please go for a run. Knock yourself out. Don't tell me to go running. It's not going to happen. I hate running. I know it's an easy thing to do if you've got proper shoes and some sort of flexible outfit. You open your front door and you start running. You don't have to do anything else. But for me, I hate it. But for other people, it might be an easy thing to do. So, that's what's meant with low-hanging fruit. Just go for the things you find easy to do. Now, this week we've had our second meeting and she wasn't particularly pleased. There's an app and I have to put down my meals, my sleep, my mood, my energy. There's a list of things that I have to put in every day into this app. I'm not particularly an app person, but I've done it. And so she could see my progress. And for me, in my eyes, the progress has been amazing. When we first met, I had just started my work as a healthcare assistant again. My contract is 3 long days. Long days is a term they use for a 12.5-hour day. So my contract is 3 long days. And I do those long days in one go, so one after the other. And when I first saw the naturopath, I had only done, 1 day, or maybe 1 day, a day off and another day, something like that. I think only 1 day. Anyway, I've now done 2 weeks of 3 days in a row. Am I tired? Absolutely. I need the 4th day to sleep. But at least I've done it. And that, in my eyes, is a tremendous progress. It's really physical work. It's hard work. It's mentally, emotionally, spiritually. It's tough. It's tough. People pass away on our ward. People are really, really, really ill on our ward. For a lot of people who arrive, it's a bit of a shock to arrive in hospital. It's not for, planned interventions. It's not that you go like, oh, I need to go to hospital to have a procedure done. The people on our ward come through A&E. So to be able to do 3 days of work in a row, that's tremendous progress. Yet she wasn't quite pleased, because there were things on the list that are really simple to do and I didn't do them. The foods that I eat are not 100% right, and there are simple actions I can take that I don't do. But what is simple for one person is not simple for the other, and my low-hanging fruits are different from anyone else's low-hanging fruits. That's, it's your low-hanging fruits. And some people are taller than others. Some trees are taller than others. And maybe you go for strawberries and they grow on the floor, so you have to kneel down. But it was an interesting conversation. And one of the reasons why I don't do therapies right now is that if I would get a patient or a client who's in a similar position to me, what would I say? What can I say? I can only say something once I get through it and out on the other side. That's when I congruently can say something, even though mentally I know it. I know it mentally. And the naturopath, I agree with all the things she said. I agree with them. She's right. She's correct. It's just that little bit of understanding, truly knowing what it is like to be in that situation, and for me to give myself, but also to give a client grace, and to give the client confidence to give themselves grace. Does that make sense? There is no point in stressing someone out who's stressed already. I'm up till here. I've been on a 2-day holiday with a friend. I've never done that before, never. And it was so lovely. There was no internet because we were on a hill somewhere in mid Wales. There was some electricity, but it was a bit sketchy. So, yeah, to have that just a couple of days out, to leave Scottish Power be for a while because of circumstances. I've sent out all the signed for letters that I can think of, and then there's a waiting time for a reply, things like that. So that period of relaxation shows me how much pressure and stress there is on me, in me. Give it a name. I don't know how to describe it. And it is a very fine balance. Of course, you want your clients to strive for the next step, to reach for the next step. You don't want them to go like, oh, no, I can't do this, I can't do that, can't do the other. But I've done all my herbs, so I've taken all of them. I have missed a couple of times, but few and far between. And there are things I have done. So to push someone is one thing, but there's a very fine balance to not push too far, to not be too disappointed, to not be, and so on. So I was slightly surprised. I'm still going for the low-hanging fruits. I still keep on going with my herbs. And today I've been to the gym, it might be a one-off, but at least I've been. And it takes a lot of time for me, it takes a lot of time to go to the gym. It was 2 hours. That's 2 hours out of the day. That's a lot of time. And of course, I need to make time for my health. I have to. There is no other option than making time for my health, because I had to take time for my illness. But I'm still in the building up phase. I'm still in the one step at a time phase. I can't do everything on the list. It's just not happening. If I have to eat milled linseed, then at this moment in time, I buy milled linseed. How difficult is it? I've got a little electric mill. How difficult is it to put some linseed in my electric mill and to mill it? No time at all. But for me, at this moment in time, it's too much. How difficult is it to create your own hummus? It's one of the easiest things to make. At this moment in time, it's not happening. So if I buy milled linseed and if I buy a ready-made hummus, for me, that's good enough. If I eat it, that's already better than not eating it. It's really, really interesting. I learned a lot this past 6 months. I've learned so much that I would have never learned in any other setting. You can't go to school and learn this. You can't read a book and learn this. You can maybe learn it mentally, but going through it, that's a different level altogether. And I will come through this and I will get out on the other side. and then I can help people again. But at this moment in time, it feels to me. At this moment in time, it feels false. It feels incongruent, and I wouldn't be able to do that. That's not me. As I said before, the the lady I'm seeing, she's absolutely amazing. She's solid. She's got a wealth of knowledge, and I would recommend her to just about anyone. She's also, which I really appreciate, if there is something she doesn't know, she will look it up, or she will guide you somewhere else to someone else, which I really appreciate. It's something I do as well. If I don't know something, you can't know everything. I will, signpost someone to someone else, or a different therapy, or, books or videos, or whatever, anything that I am not an expert in, go somewhere else. So I really appreciate that. It's this tiny thing of the understanding. And it's really good for me to experience that as well, because there I knew already within myself that I wasn't doing therapies. I knew within myself that was what I didn't want. I didn't want to work with people in a way that for me is incongruent. So it is a really good experience, and I will stay her client for the foreseeable future. If she wants to keep me as her client, that will keep on going. In the meantime, I am the healing therapist, the therapist who turned patient. I'm taking a bit of a healing sabbatical, and this is a self-care experiment. It's interesting for me to see what my low-hanging fruits are, the things I can do. It's also interesting to see what can make me get up and out of the house. At the moment, my daughter is here. And earlier this week, I asked her if she was willing to come along with me to the gym to make sure that I was actually getting up and out of the house and into the gym. Because I've got a lot of excuses if I'm left to my own devices. Over the past 6 months, I've been to the gym once in 6 months. So that's not good enough. And then you can say, oh, you can do exercises at home. That didn't happen either. So I can teach gymnastics. I can teach jazz ballet. I'm qualified in the Netherlands. So, there's no excuse. There's really no excuse. Yet it didn't happen. And today I went to the gym. So my daughter came along and she just sat there doing her own work. Hopefully it just gets me going. It just gets me into some sort of rhythm, a routine where I can actually go to the gym, where it's built into my week again. So yeah, that's where I am at the moment. Interesting times. As I said, please check out when you listen to this podcast, check out if I started doing therapies again, because as I said, this is evergreen content. So who knows what moment in time you are listening to this. There will be links provided in the description of where to go to if you do want to work with me. If I look back at my own, whatever happened the past 6 months, rest is really, really, really important. Sleeping well, aiming to get to keep a rhythm in your life day and night. That would be amazing. And good food, if you can manage, if that's your thing. Some sort of exercise, whatever it is, even if you do one push-up, that's better than no push-up. And whilst you're there on the floor, you might as well think, oh, well, I've done one, maybe I can do 2 as well. These are the things I can think of that are low-hanging fruits. If you can think of more, by all means, do those. I think most people kind of know what is good for them and what isn't good for them. And food-wise, it's, fresh fruit and vegetables, if you can afford it and if it's available organic. If not, then fruit and vegetables is better than chocolate peanuts, I can tell you. I've grown 2 uniform sizes. That's a lot of growth in 4 months. So my future is bright. It's going up. The trend is going up. I keep on going with the herbs. I keep on improving my food. I have gone to the gym, so maybe that will be something that's happening as well. I'm working already 3 days a week. It is getting better. There's light at the end of the tunnel, and I'm not there yet. So that's all happening. Do I know how long it's going to take? No idea. Do I know what else it's going to take? No idea. But having my daughter here at this moment in time, the day will come where she will just kick me out of the house to tell me to go to the gym. She can be very forceful, not physical, but she'll make sure that you do as she says. Interesting times. I wish you all the best. If you find yourself in the same situation as me, I've just explained a couple of things you can do, and give yourself some grace. Give yourself grace. Surround yourself with people who can help you, who support you. Extra credit goes to my line manager, who has been very patient with me in my return back to work. Bless her heart, she has given me extra time to do so. Those are the things that are amazing. There is a group in Hereford that I attend, and they talk about all sorts of things that have to do with council tax and energy companies, and the list is long. They've been a source of support as well. Why? Because they sometimes see things in a different way and give you a different perspective, or are there to pick up the pieces, or are there to give you extra time, or where you can go for a cry. Even though my line manager didn't have the tissues at the time, which was so funny that it made us both laugh again. So yeah, so hopefully you find yourself some people. Hopefully there are people around you already, but if not, you can find people to support you, and be kind to yourself. I think that's the main message. Be kind to yourself. Time passes anyway, and there's no point in putting yourself down. There's no point in grumbling. There's, stay as positive as you can and make the most of it. So that's it. It's a bit of a weird episode, but I think it needed to be made. It needed to be done. So I hope to see you again. Thank you for listening, and goodbye. See you. Bye.